everybody, it's Miss Susan. Are you ready for another story time? I bet you are. Well, today we're going to have some fun. Today we're going to talk about pumpkins. We're going to read a story all about pumpkins and how pumpkins are grown. We're going to read some silly stories and sing some silly songs. And we're going to meet a friend of mine. My friend is someone who hangs out in the garden and he protects the pumpkins from being eaten by crows and other birds and animals. But first, before we get started with talking about pumpkins, let's sing our morning song, The More We Get Together. Ready, set, go. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Great job! Pat on the back for a job well done. Good job. All right. Well, let's get ready to talk all about pumpkins.
Pumpkin Harvest, written by Calvin Harris. Fall is here. It's fall. The weather outside feels cool and crisp. Orange pumpkins fill a patch of land. They grow on green vines near the ground. The vines turn brown and dry up. It's time to harvest the pumpkins. Picking pumpkins. Farmers cut the ripe pumpkins from their vines. They set the pumpkins out for shoppers to buy. Fun with pumpkins. Pumpkins make fall a fun time. They make good heads for scarecrows. Pumpkins are scooped out to make jack-o'-lanterns. Pumpkins are baked into sweet pumpkin pies. Other signs of fall. The pumpkin harvest has begun. What are other signs that it's fall?
Did you see all those pumpkins? There was a lot of pumpkins at that pumpkin patch. I didn't know pumpkins grew on vines, and then the farmers cut them off the vines and take them to the stores for us to buy them. And people can make so many things out of pumpkins. Like one of the pictures show that they made a scarecrow using the pumpkin as the head. Some made pumpkin pie, and I've had pumpkin donuts before, pumpkin ice cream. Oh, pumpkins are just amazing, and I love the color orange. It's such a pretty color. All right, well, let's count pumpkins. Can you guys hold your hands like this? Let's see if we can count pumpkins together. Ready, set, go. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little pumpkins, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little pumpkins, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little pumpkins, 10 little pumpkins on the vine. All right, it's time for the farmer to collect the pumpkins. Let's count backwards. Ready, set, go. 10 little, 9 little, 8 little pumpkins, 7 little, 6 little, 5 little pumpkins, 4 little, 3 little, 2 little pumpkins, 1 little pumpkin on the vine. Yay! Good job! Very, very, very good job. All right, so our next story is about a frog, and him and his friends his friends at school are going on a field trip to the pumpkin patch. So let's listen to this story and find out all of the silly things that happens on this school trip.
Froggy Picks a Pumpkin, written by Jonathan London. At school, Froggy read a poster. Don't forget, trip to the pumpkin patch. Tomorrow, pumpkin picking contest. Next morning, Froggy woke up and looked out the window. A beautiful pumpkin moon was setting and colorful leaves were falling. Leaves, leaves, cried Froggy. I want to go out and play in the... Whoops! He fell out of bed. Thump! Froggy! Called his mother. What? Stop jumping off the bed, dear. Today is your field trip. Oh, yeah, cried Froggy. It's time to pick a pumpkin. And he hopped up and got dressed. Zip, zoop, zup, zut, 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 zat. And flopped into the kitchen. Flop, 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 singing, Pumpkins, pumpkins, muffins and pies, pumpkin faces lighting the sky. He ate his breakfast of cereal and flies, munch, crunch, munch, and imagined a steaming pumpkin pie. Yum! And a whole line of jack-o'-lanterns outside, lighting the night sky. On the bus, Froggy bounced in his seat, boing, 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 and led all of his friends singing, pumpkins, pumpkins, muffins and pie, pumpkin faces lighting the sky. When they got to the pumpkin patch, he jumped off the bus, flop, 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 and sang, I'm gonna pick a pumpkin, I'm gonna pick a pumpkin. Froggy! Cried his teacher, Ms. Witherspoon. What? Wait, dear, we're going to have a pumpkin picking contest for the biggest, smallest, prettiest, ugliest, and best all-around pumpkin. Yippee! Cried Froggy, and he took off again, flop, 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 and tripped over a pumpkin, flew through the air, and knocked into another pumpkin. Boink! Max bounced over 3 small pumpkins and tried to pick up a huge one. It didn't budge. Ugh! Travis said, step aside, and lifted it up. Matthew zigzagged around Max, Travis, and Froggy and picked up the prettiest pumpkin in the world. It was shiny and perfect and just the right size. Froggalina twirled and danced through the pumpkin patch. She squatted down and said, hello, my sweet, and picked up a very small, very dark orange pumpkin and kissed it. Mwah! Froggy hopped up on a gigantic pumpkin and looked all around like a pirate on the bow of a ship and shouted, ahoy there! And he leapfrogged over Froggalina. He leapfrogged over Max. He leapfrogged over Matthew, flop, flop, splat, and fell smack across a really big pumpkin. He stood up and said, this is the one, and he tried to pick it up. He got it up to his knees, huff! He got it up to his chest, yes! Then he trudged along with his huge pumpkin, lug, lug, ugh! Froggy! Cried Ms. Witherspoon. What? You're going the wrong way. Oops, said Froggy, and started huffing. Max yelled, last one in is a rotten A. Everybody else ran with their pumpkins, and Travis rolled his big one, rumble, rumble, rumble. When Froggy finally got there, he was too pooped to pop, and tripped and smashed his pumpkin. Smoosh! Oops, cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. Everybody laughed, even Ms. Witherspoon. Then she said, and now for the winners of the pumpkin picking contest. For the biggest, Travis! For the smallest, Max. Max lifted up his hat, and there, atop his head, was a pumpkin the size of a golf ball. For the prettiest, Matthew. For the best all around, Froggalina. Here is a pie pumpkin, great for baking. Froggalina said, hello, my sweet, and kissed it. Mwah! Then Miss Witherspoon said, and for the ugliest, yours, Froggy. What a mess! And everybody cheered, hip, hip, hooray! Even Froggy. And on the bus ride home, Froggy sang, pumpkins, pumpkins, muffins and pie, pumpkin faces lighting the sky, and all his friends sang with him.
Wasn't that a funny story? Oh my gosh, Froggy is so hilarious. I love it. Well, if you notice, between the first book, learning about pumpkins, and the second book about Froggy going to the pumpkin patch, you'll notice they had 2 pictures of a scarecrow. Like I started off my story time, scarecrows are in the garden in order to protect the vegetables from the birds. So we're going to read a quick story about what is a scarecrow and how helpful scarecrows are. So I'll be right back.
Scarecrows, written by Calvin Harris. Fall is here. It's fall. The weather is getting cooler. Scarecrows stand in the cornfield. Scarecrows guard fields and gardens. They scare birds away from the plants and the crops. Scarecrow parts. Scarecrows look like people. They wear shirts and pants stuffed with yellow straw. Scarecrows wear boots on their straw feet. Scarecrows wear hats on their orange pumpkin heads. Fun with scarecrows. People use scarecrows as fun fall decorations. People dress scarecrows in funny ways. People wear scarecrow costumes on Halloween. Other signs of fall. Scarecrows are a sign of fall. What are other signs that it's fall?
So, scarecrows, oh my gosh, they do a lot to protect the garden. And also, I've noticed that some people use scarecrows to decorate their homes. Even kids dress up as scarecrows. Oh, wow, that's wild. Well, this is my friend, Sammy the Scarecrow. Wave, Sammy. He doesn't move very much. As we said before, Sammy has a very important job. Exactly. Sammy's job is to guard the garden so that the animals and the birds don't eat the vegetables. So I thought I'd bring Sammy out, and I thought we'd sing a little song all about Sammy the Scarecrow. So it goes like this. And sorry, I might be reading my notes, so if I'm looking down, don't worry about it. Ready, Sammy? All right. I'm a little scarecrow, raggedy and warm. I wear a hat and my shirt is torn. When the crows fly here, I wave and shout, "Ah!" Away from my garden! Get out, out, out! Good job, Sammy. Thank you. Oh, he's amazing. All right. Well, Sammy, let's read a story, a silly story, all about scarecrows.
Scaredy Crow, written by Christopher Hernandez. On a large farm in the country lay a cornfield, and in the middle of the field stood one lonely scarecrow. The scarecrow was made of hay, and he wore old clothes with a floppy hat on his head. He had one job to do, scare the animals away from the field so they did not eat the corn. But there was one itsy-bitsy problem. The scarecrow was afraid of the animals. In fact, he was afraid of everything. He was a scaredy crow. When crows flew by in the day, Scaredy Crow would say, "Oh no, here come the crows! Please don't peck at my hay!" Instead of trying to scare them, he would shake his head, wave his arms, and shout, "Crows, crows, go away! Come again another day!" And the crows flew away. When bats swooped by in the night, Scaredy Crow would squeal, "What's that? It must be bats! Please don't screech at me!" Then, instead of scaring them, he would close his eyes, cover his ears, and yell, "Bats, bats, don't attack! Please leave and don't come back!" The bats swooped away. Scaredy Crow really was scared of everything, but what he didn't know was that everything was scared of him. His waving and shaking frightened the crows during the day. His yelling and screaming worried the bats through the night. Everybody was scared of each other. Then one day, a little brown field mouse moved to the farm. All the animals greeted him. The mouse noticed Scaredy Crow standing by himself in the field. "Who's that?" he asked his new friends. "Whatever you do, stay away from that scarecrow. He's scary," the bats and the crow warned. "He loves to yell and will catch you if you go near him." The little mouse looked back at the Scaredy Crow again. He didn't look scary at all, just very lonely. If the animals hadn't greeted me when I moved to the farm, I might have been all alone, thought the mouse. Maybe all he needs is a friend. So the little mouse scurried into the field. When Scaredy Crow heard the little mouse, he closed his eyes and shrieked, "Eek! It's a monster!" But even though Scaredy Crow startled him, the little field mouse did not run away. He waited patiently for the Scarecrow to calm down and then said, "Hello, my name is Tiny. I would like to be your friend." "You want to be friends with me?" asked Scaredy Crow. He had never made a friend before. He was always too scared. Tiny smiled at him. "Yes, I do. And I might add, you are certainly not as scary as the crows and bats had told me." "They are scared of me?" asked Scaredy Crow. "How could that be?" "They are scared because you always yell and wave your arms at them," said Tiny. "They think you want to catch them." Scaredy Crow knew what it felt like to be scared, and the last thing he wanted was to frighten the other animals. "What can I do to show them that I'm not scary?" he asked Tiny. "Let's invite the animals to the field so they can meet you," Tiny squeaked. "Then you can show them what a nice scarecrow you are." Tiny gathered all the animals and brought them out to the cornfield. The animals were nervous. What would the Scarecrow do? "Hello, Scarecrow," Tiny said. And instead of shouting and waving, Scarecrow smiled and said, "Hello, friends. Would you like some corn on the cob?" Soon everyone was laughing and having a great time, and Scaredy Crow wasn't scared of anything anymore. Well, almost.
Aw, wasn't that a cute story? That poor scared Scarecrow. He was waving his arms because he was scared of everybody. But all I really wanted was a friend. So it was awesome that the field mouse took a chance and encouraged all the other animals to come and be friends with the Scarecrow. I love it. Wonderful. Okay, kiddos, my story time is done. So it's time for us to say our goodbye song. Can you guys wave? Great job. All right, sing the song with me. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. Clap your hands for all your friends. We wave goodbye like this. See you real soon.